British Somali poet Warsan Shire was a refugee. She left home and she wrote this poem. This is a selection from her poem, Home. I want to go home, but home is the mouth of a shark. Home is the barrel of a gun, and no one would leave home unless home chased you to the shore. Unless home told you to quicken your legs, leave your clothes behind, crawl through the desert, wade through the ocean, drown, save, be hunger, beg, forget pride. Your survival is more important. No one leaves home unless home is a sweaty voice in your ear saying, leave, run away from me now. I don't know what I've become, but I know that anywhere is safer than here. Those are strong, strong words, but people don't give up on the concept of home easily. And I'm not talking about moving from place to place. We do that fairly easily. I want to go home. Have you ever heard a small child say that, and you know exactly what they mean? They're tired, they're cranky, they're hungry, they're trying not to cry. I want to go home. What it means is, I'm done right now. I'm done. I need to be someplace that doesn't scare me, doesn't tire me out anymore, where I can get warm, where I can go potty and get something to drink and just be done with people. I want to go home. I want to be where I'm loved. I want to be where I'm wanted. Where you live may not be home. Home may be a concept. It may be the people around you. But everyone wants a place to go where their welcome and their safety are assured, a place where they belong, really belong. So you can imagine what it is like for asylum seekers, for refugees, for immigrants, to say, I want to go home. Everyone wants welcome, even on a bad day, even when they bring nothing to the table, even when they come with bleeding sore feet and a tired back and no money and nothing to give but need all the help in the world. And it circles back around to who we are as a church and who we are as people and to who we are as Americans, because if we can't do it here, and I mean that literally, in this place, and if we can do it here, in this place, it gives us a heck of a vision on how to do it out there. Radical welcome, radical hospitality. We practice it here so that we can do it out there. Simple welcome, we're pretty good at. Hi, come in. Can I get you something to drink? Make yourself at home. Put your feet up. Take your shoes off. We mean that. We want our friends to be comfortable when they come visit. But there's some limits to that. And culturally, we all understand those limits. Or at least most of us do. People can come in, they can take their shoes off. They can be close enough friends to get drinks out of your fridge. But they aren't allowed to come in and repaint the walls. The minute you see your friend Bill going, you know, the couch would look much nicer over there, you go, wait a minute, this is my house. What are you doing? Wait a minute, that's mine. I control this space and these things. I'm just inviting you to share them with me. We found the end of welcome. Do not paint my walls purple. Do not move my couch. Your best friend may borrow your lawnmower without asking you, but he sure isn't going to sell it because he knows it's not his. Simple welcome anywhere says, we like you enough to be nice. And often it says, you fit in. You're not going to cause a problem. You're not going to make me do anything uncomfortable. Come in and have a soda. We are called to do more than that. We're called as a church. We're called as human beings. We are called to do more than that. We're called to say not, make yourself at home in my home, but welcome home. Here's the keys. It's our home. Lonnie Collins Pratt, in the book Radical Hospitality, Benedict's Way of Love, says this: the phrase radical hospitality refers to the activities and desires that inspire individuals and communities to welcome those unlike themselves, to welcome those who don't speak the language, in Paul Simon's words. Rather than viewing any person in terms of how they benefit us, radical hospitality means accepting the person with no thought of personal benefit. To become hospitable means finding ways to welcome the marginalized, the forgotten, and the misunderstood among us. We ain't just talking about our congregation. We're not just talking about, oh, hey, you look homeless. Can I get you a sandwich? We're talking about how to wrap our arms around each other, around the outsider, around the different, and be human together. Pratt says, in addition to our fears, we've become a culture with more disdain and indifference than ever before. I think everybody in this room has seen that on the media and the news. Today, human kindness seems under siege, he says. In the midst of this, some of us are looking for ways to grow more hospitable, regardless of where our search may take us. It must begin with turning inside in a ruthless self-evaluation and examination of conscience that scorches away the excuses we grant ourselves. It's not just needed, our lives and our society may depend on it. Rabbi Rachel Grant Meyer, Director of Education for Community Engagement, wrote in October 2018, after the mass shooting at the Tree of Life Synagogue, we are in a time of incredible polarization in this country, where there's an uptick in hate speech, and hate has been allowed to ferment. This is the really tragic result of the moment we're in, but it points to a patent misunderstanding of what our moral and ethical and religious obligations are. Rabbi Shea Held, President and Dean of Hadar, an egalitarian center for advanced Jewish learning in New York, says, an ancient text cannot be used to settle the details of contemporary policy questions. That's flat. It can help us establish an ethos of welcome. The demonization of people seeking refuge is, religiously speaking anyway, an abomination. Radical welcome begins with the idea of interconnected existence. It says, I'm not welcoming you to my stuff. I'm welcoming you to your stuff. Because I'm here, because we're here, you already have a place here. This is not a call to be nice. You're not doing this because you like the look of them. You're not doing this because of what they can do for you. You're not doing this because they've come to the door of your church or your congregation or your country, and you've thought, my, what a splendid fellow you seem to be. You're not doing it because they're not bad hombres. Maybe they are. Doesn't matter. You're doing it because we're all in this together. You're doing it because you have gone ahead and made a way for the next person. You've made a way out of no way. Radical welcome is a call to justice at the deepest level. Because I have a place, you have a place. You don't have to apply. You don't have to be good enough or smart enough or popular enough. You don't have to be white enough. You don't have to be American enough. You don't have to be documented enough. You are enough because you are. Love without boundaries. Love without borders. This is religion. This is church at its rawest, at its fiercest. We do not love because some God, some book told us to. We love because we are human, and it's what it means to be human. We are the people of welcome. This is what we are called to do, and this is the path we will walk or stagger or roll or crawl along together. Every stranger brings a new peace that guides us and shapes us and brings depth. They are the indigo to our red and orange and yellow and green. Each one is already a part of us. It's just a part we haven't explored. And radical welcome begins with radical inclusion with no prerequisites. It's earned by the blood that flows in your veins. And even for the folks who do well with this idea, the next part is hard. Giving and receiving are the next part of radical welcome. They're balanced, equally important. We give from the heart, and we receive from the heart, and both are unconditional. Mega churches and televangelists get on TV. How many of you all have ever seen prosperity gospel being preached? Seen that? Where they get on TV and Robert Tilton and Joel Osteen tell their viewers, if you want to belong, send as much money as you can. In fact, send all of it if you can. This is seed money. If you give me all your money, you'll get more money somehow. That's prosperity gospel. The more you act like you have a lot, more will show up. There's a word for that, and the first half of it is bull. Prosperity gospel is a lie in that sense. It's a scheme. It's a scheme to bilk people who just want to be loved and welcomed home. And they think that is the price for admission. What can I give you until it hurts me to the heart? But we are not selling religion, and we should not be selling our country. Givers of all kinds are a deep blessing. Their money and their talent allow us to pay the bills and keep going. Of course, that's important. But receivers are an equal blessing, those who come to the church or the country, knowing that they need to take. They allow the joy and the blessing of giving. Radical welcome is about recognizing that our experience together is participatory. It is not a commercial transaction. We aren't looking at human beings and saying, how much are you worth? so I can decide how much are you welcome. We're in it together. It's not a sale. We are called as a church and as a country to cultivate personal autonomy, to recognize in each person the right to determine if this is the place and this is the city or the county or the country for them. But the default setting is inclusion. The default setting is you have value. The default setting is you don't have to earn your way in somehow. Nobody has to wait for some conjunction of circumstance. You don't have to be baptized or confirmed. You don't have to be saved or born again. You were not broken. You don't have to accept some truth and reject some other truth. You don't have to have the right skin or the right speech. We are in the experience of life together. Anne Lamott writes, so what do I want to hear at a gathering like church or, say, a random group of alkies? I want to hear me too. I know what that feels like. I want to hear, wow, thank you for trusting me with that. What a big effing drag. I've been through that too. Let's file a brief with the complaints department. Come on. We'll sit down with a cup of tea and plan our strategy. She writes, I want someone to say that against all odds there's a solution. There really absolutely is. And it's not out there. It's not in circumstance. Circumstance do not need to change to feel peace again or even happiness. And it's not in amassing or achieving. I so hate this, she says. As Lily Tomlin said, the problem with winning at the rat race is that you are still a rat. I love that line. Anne Lamott said, I want to hear someone remind me that if I want to have loving feelings, I need to do loving things. I need someone to make me laugh about our shared humanity and cuckoo-ness. I want someone to remind me that laughter is carbonated holiness. I want someone to remind me of what Ram Dass said, in that we're all just walking each other home. I just want to hear that I'm loved and chosen and welcome. No matter what a mess I've made of things or how defective I feel sometimes. I just want to hear that it'll get better, even though it may not be tomorrow right after lunch. And I love her words because this is the core of radical welcome and the hub of radical inclusion. We all laugh, we all hurt, we all just want to go home sometimes. We're all broken, we're all mended. You're not alone. You're not the only one. You don't need anyone's permission to be alive, to be a human, to be here. Enter, rejoice, and come in because by God, we're glad you're home. Blessed be.